Hello, everybody. Cub fan here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I just wanted to shoot a video and do a contest response for Reina Martin. And I don't know if you guys have checked him out yet or not, but he's a Yankees fan, and he's got really great content. He's got a pretty cool channel. Does a little bit of new, but really concentrates on vintage, and he's got a baseball card man cave that is to die for. Makes mine look like a stepchild, but you guys really should check it out. Reina Martin. And what he asked was he wanted to know what got you hooked in the hobby. And as you guys know, I like to tell stories. For me, it was 87 was the year I actually started collecting. I wasn't quite hooked in 87, but that's why, 87 Tops is by far my favorite set. And the reason why is in the 80s, as a young man, every kid that I knew collected baseball cards, and so I didn't want to be left out of that. So every day after school, I got well, let me start back. Every day for school, I got $1 for school lunch, and school lunch was only 85 cents, and so you had 15-cent change, and you could keep that change or you can buy an extra milk. But I started keeping that change because every other day I could stop at the gas station with my friends and I could buy a pack of cards. And so in those days it was 87 Tops, and they were 27 cents, and so every other day I could buy a new pack of cards. And we did that throughout the school year, and we, you and all your friends, you always traded. And at that time I knew I was a Cubs fan, and so I would trade for all the Cubby cards and things of that nature, and I would trade my Oakland A's cards to another friend or what have you, whoever they collected. But I didn't really know who the players were. I knew who Ryan Sandberg was, and that's part of the reason why he kind of became my favorite player. But it wasn't until that summer that I went and stayed with my dad, and he took me to my first ball game in Wrigley Field, and it was just it was just a magical day, and I could finally, being at the ballpark, and my dad hooked me up with a scorecard, and he taught me how to keep score, and it was that point where I started to recognize the players and the players' names of the cards I had, and I started putting two to two together on who people were and what they did, and that's what really lit my hobby fire, is that, now I knew who to collect and what to collect, and that really started fueling it from there. And I started to get to be old enough that I could start paying attention to baseball and figuring out who was the good players were, and stuff like that. So that was really what fueled my fire to start collecting. So there's that. And I just want to say congratulations on 100 subscribers, Reina, and I really love your channel. But I also wanted to do some baseball card talk, because today was kind of a lazy Sunday, and I kind of was binge watching, getting caught up on my videos, and I caught quite a few videos that really caught my eye, and I just really wanted to talk about them a little bit today. First we'll start with Snoop12922, and he's got a new series out that he's been doing called Around the Hobby. And if you guys haven't checked out Snoop, you really need to do that. If you haven't checked out his series, you really need to do that. Really highly recommend it. I caught episode 5, and I immediately went back and binge watched all the other episodes. But it's like baseball weekly. It's just a weekly roundup of what's going on in the hobby, and not just baseball but sports in general. And it was very well done, very well put together, really well thought out. So I highly recommend it. And then also was checking out Double D Sports Talk, Dustin A and Dustin B, and they were talking about set building, and they were also talking about sharing the sets that you're building to the YouTube community, and we could possibly start helping each other with building our sets. And for those of you that follow me on a regular basis, you guys all know that I'm putting the 64 set together. And I am still only missing the Willie Mays and the Bill Scouron, but I'm not doing this so that somebody will send me a Willie Mays, because I don't want anybody to do that. But I wanted to do this so I could share some of my extras, because putting the set together has been a lot of fun. But one of the things I really like about it is that the set has been it's pretty affordable, all up until the Willie Mays. So with that, a lot of times I would need a card, or just 3 or 4 cards, and I would just buy a lot, because the lots weren't all that expensive. We're talking anywhere from $11 to $15 for a lot, and you'd get 17, 18 cards, and you only needed like 3 or 4. So I got left with a bunch of extras, and I have been sending some out. I sent some to Josh, Impact Player. Sent a couple out to Dustin B and a couple out to Dustin A, but I still have quite a few. Now the Hall of Famers, I won't just send out outright. I mean, I'll be willing to accept a trade on that. But with the Hall of Famers, I got the K-line still left. The Cepeda. Now, if I will tell you, the Cepeda does have a crease in it. And the corners are in the coloring's kind of, so, but all the rest of them are in pretty good shape. I have a Warren Spahn left, Brooks Robinson, Sano's mine, got a Gibson left, and then a Kenny Boyer, and I'll be willing to do any kind of trades for those. And I'm not picky when it comes to trades. I collect rookie cards and I collect Cubs. So if one of these are the ones that you need, just let me know, and then I'll send it to you, and you can just send me whatever you think is fair in a rookie card or Cubs card, and I can do it that way. Now these, now the commons, if you need a common, just let me know, and I'll send those out to you, no problem. But I have the Ron Hunt, Rocky Calavito. That's not really a common, but I got the Jim Bunning, Tony Gonzalez, Dean Chance, Pete Ward, Dave Wickersham, Johnny Callison, Dick Raditz, Tommy Davis, Max Alvis, Juan Pizarro, Leon Wagner, and John Romano. So if any of you guys out there are putting a set together, or if you just want some from your favorite team, just let me know, because they're not going to do anything but just sit here in a drawer, because I already have what I need for the binder. So if you guys need any of those, just let me know, and I'll send you any of the commons, and then any of the Hall of Famers, or these ones here. I'll just we can always work out a trade, and I'm not that hard to please, so just let me know. Also, watched Baseball Card Junkies TV, and they had a pretty good episode. They always have a good episode, but one that I really paid attention to was they talked about if you could go back and change something in your collecting, what would it be? And I thought that was a real interesting story because I put a lot of thought into that. And I wish if I could go back, I would go back and stay more focused on my collection of just baseball, because in the early 90s and late 80s, as I was getting into collecting, I just started collecting everything. I started collecting basketball, I started collecting football, and with the exception of some commons, I sold all that off. But I feel like I missed out on a lot of things because in the early to mid 90s, instead of buying a lot of baseball, I was breaking a lot of, and that's another thing we should have changed, is not buying so much damn wax. But that was part of the hobby back then. But I was breaking a lot of wax, but I was breaking a lot of basketball. I was breaking a lot of 93, 94 Upper Deck, 92, 93. I was breaking a lot of Finest, and so I was buying a little bit of the higher end stuff. But I was, because I was chasing the Webbers and the Hardaways and guys like that, Latrell Sprewell, and I wasn't paying attention too much to baseball, so I missed out. I specifically remember buying the 94 Upper Deck, but not the 94 Upper Deck basketball, but not the 93 SP, and I specifically remember that, and it's like going back, I wish I would have stayed more focused on the hobby, on just the baseball, and went that route. So there's that. And then also checked out a video with Mike, baseball collector, and that one really hit home too, because what he did is he did a challenge with Joe Silverjackify, where they were talking about buying wax, and they talked about I know Mike did Topps Tribute, and he took the money that he would have spent on a box of Topps Tribute, which comes out with 6 hits, and saw what the 150 would get him, and he only bought Topps Tribute stuff, like the memorabilia and the autographs, and he ended up buying 11 hits, and he bought all cards that he wanted, so it was something that was going to work good for his PC, and that is something it took me a long time to learn that, but as I grew older, that's when I started becoming more focused in the hobby and not breaking wax, but spending the money on cards I really want. But I do get a childish hunkering for wax, so when I buy wax, I try to buy inexpensive stuff, and also stuff where I'm not expecting to get hits, but like I buy a lot of, I still buy Topps each year, and I buy some Bowman, and I try to keep it inexpensive, but I buy those for a reason as well too, is because that way I can get the rookie cards, and I can get a wide variety of rookie cards, and I like getting rookie cards of people that you don't know who they are. You get that a lot with Bowman and Topps, and I like to put them in a box, and it's fun to go back through, and because you never know, a player might come out and he's not a top prospect, but he can get the call up and just light the world on fire and come out of nowhere, and then you have something that's fun to go back and do that. So I try to stay focused on that as well too. So there it is. That's kind of just wanted to do some baseball bullshitting and talk a little bit about what's going on and what I see and some of the things that I thought were pretty cool. And with that being said, talking about the wax, is that last year I went to a show and a guy was selling older wax, and he was selling them, what was it? I think it was $8 a box, or you can buy 2 for $15, so you saved $1. But I bought a box of 89 Bowman and of course 87 Topps, and I'm starting to get a little bit of an itch, so I was kind of wanting to break one. And but I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Which one should I break? Should I break the 89 Bowman or the 87 Topps? So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.